Today, I'm going to show you guys how I took my client from an all-over blonde to this. I like to call this a reverse balayage. First things first, I am going to be foiling her hair, but I am not putting any bleach or any color. I am using conditioner in these foils, and you're probably wondering, why are you foiling her hair with conditioner? So let me explain. My client today wanted to be mainly brown, but she still wanted a little bit of blonde to have some dimension. If she had came in and said, hey, I want to keep my hair mainly blonde, but I want to add a little bit of brown in here, I would be putting brown in these foils. Since that's not the case though, I'm using the pre-existing blonde that she has in her hair and just using conditioner to hold it inside of these foils. The placement of these foils are the exact placement that I would use if I were to be adding lowlights in her hair. I'm not following an exact pattern though. I'm basically just placing foils where my heart desires and where I feel like they need to go. Some of these are spaced out, some of them are back to back. It all boils down to creativity. I honestly don't like following a pattern too much because it can sometimes look too cookie cutter-ish, if that makes sense. On her crown and on her part, I'm taking pretty thick weaved sections to place inside of the foils. I don't typically like to do thick sections, but in this case, doing the sections too thin could make the blonde disappear. And I want the blonde to still pop even though she's going to be mainly brunette. And since the top of the head is what we always see first, I strive to make it look as perfect as possible. She has a pre-existing money piece, and so what I did is put conditioner on those blonde pieces and let them hang out. I could have put them in foils, but it really didn't matter because if conditioner is on them, it acts as a barrier, and so if brown were to touch that hair, it's not going to dye it. On the sides of her head, I'm basically repeating exactly what I did in the back. Random slices, random weaves. Once all her foils were in, I went in with Kenra 4N demi-permanent color and colored everything in between the foils except for that existing money piece in the front. I can't stress how important it is to go through each foil and make sure that each piece of hair in between is saturated, because when you're doing a process like this, it is extremely easy to miss sections in between the foils, and that is not what we want. When everything was done processing, I rinsed her out with cold water and brought her back to my chair. To blend the pre-existing highlights in her hair, I'm tapping her root with a 6N from Shades EQ and toning her with 8N, 8GI, and 9T, all from Shades EQ too. I brushed everything through and let it sit for about 15 minutes, and then you can see all the products that I'm using in her hair. The K18 is my holy grail. Love that stuff. Before blow drying her hair and styling it, we did do a nice little trim because her ends were looking a little crunchy. Crunchy hair and I do not get along, in case you did not know. I'm styling her hair though with my Bio-Ionic curling iron in a 1-inch barrel, I believe. This is the color though. I'm obsessed. It turned out so beautiful. It was just that perfect in between and just in time for fall. She was actually scheduled for highlights, but when she came in today, she told me she wanted to go dark and that she had just decided this yesterday. But you know what? I'm here for it. I think it looks great. She's really blessed though because she can pull off just about any color that she chooses. This was truly so fun to do and I'm obsessed with it.